Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Compium TDX. Hey everybody. So it's been 4 years roughly since I last did a big upgrade to the QQ Metarolux. It's based off the Ryzen 7 1700X platform. It's got 16 gigs of DDR4, RX 550 graphics card. It's got a ton of storage in it. you know, but the subject of this video is part of the water cooling system. This water pump here. So when I spent all this money on upgrading this machine, roughly to the tune, I think it was in the neighborhood of $1,000. One thing that I actually didn't spend a whole bunch of money on would be this water pump. So I'll be honest, I was skeptical at first when I bought this water pump. I was skeptical if it would last. Well, here's an update on things. So this is a SC600 water pump. No, I didn't say that was a brand. That's because this thing is generic. It is known as the SC600. It is, of course, made in China. It's got Chinese right on the back of it. Maybe you'll just see him. Sorry about the crappy lighting. I should have got a flashlight, but I've posted updates on this water pump in the past, and I figured it was time for another one. So I spent roughly in the tune of like $20 to $25 on this pump. It wasn't a bunch of money at all, but I must say it has been it's been an absolute great bargain. So the pump itself is fed off a 3-pin power connection, like a 3-pin fan connection. I got that plugged into the motherboard, so it gets its power from the motherboard, and so do the radiator fans over here on this side. They all they're actually speed controlled based off the motherboard. So as I mentioned, when I first got this water pump, I was pretty skeptical of its reliability, but this machine rarely ever cuts off. It runs constantly. I mean, unless there's a power outage, or if I'm working on the thing. If neither of those two things are happening, chances are it's running. This thing has ran nearly non-stop for the past 4 years straight. So this water pump has been running all that time, and here's your listen. It's nice and quiet. I've got this sound dampening foam here, which also helps keep it quiet. So the first year of this pump service, I had Primochill PC Ice coolant in this thing, which was garbage. It claimed to be non-conductive, which that maybe could have been the case, but it also claimed that it had all the additives that a coolant would need to prevent the buildup of algae and things like that. Well, it didn't. This system within a year was full of algae in its water cooling system, so I had to flush it out, and then I converted it over to automotive antifreeze coolant. Not something I recommend if you have pets in the house, like dogs or cats, but it's got a ethylene glycol based coolant in it. It's roughly 75% distilled water to 25% antifreeze. What I did is I bought a jug of, actually no, what it was is, since my Jeep has a very slow coolant leak, I always have a jug of antifreeze on hand, and I had it's Prestone Universal pre-diluted 50/50. I diluted it down half and half between distilled and the other solution, which brought the mixture again to 75% distilled, 25% antifreeze, and that's what I've been running in this thing ever since. And in this pump, it did with the Primochill stuff. It had a little bit of a chatter to it. It was a little bit more noisy. But with the antifreeze coolant, it is perfectly quiet. I mean, you can barely hear the thing. Now, like I say, it's been running all this time. There is one thing about it, though, I will mention, and I'm not sure what's going on with it. I mean, it still works fine, but every once in a while, you'll hear this sound like it sucks in air from somewhere, and it's just kind of random. It only does it once in a while. Not sure how it's getting there, but maybe it's weird. It's not leaking coolant anywhere. I mean, I've checked this thing over and over all throughout. No coolant leaks. It's not leaking coolant out of it. Yeah, this happens once in a while, but I mean, the pump itself still runs fine. So I must say, I would say it was taking kind of a chance. I mean, I could have spent $60 to $80 on a water pump from a reputable brand. I remember looking at the pumps from like Swift Tech and others like that, and they were through the roof. What it was is this had this reservoir here, which had a Thermaltake I think it was a P400 pump on it. This was part of this Thermaltake reservoir, and the pump that was here was actually originally part of a big Water 735 kit that came out of a computer I got for parts years ago. And although that pump was still working, it just didn't sound that great, and I just wanted to replace it since I was putting a whole bunch of new hardware in this thing. So that's how I ended up with this pump here. It was one that I could find that was a pretty much direct fit. I'll say, yeah, pretty much direct fit. But it has been working pretty well. You can see by pretty much direct fit, I had to use some Teflon tape to get these existing connections to go in all the way, and that's worked fine. I mean, there's never been any leaks. So normally these are supposed to thread all the way down. There's like an O-ring that seats in there, but since it wouldn't seat all the way down, I used the Teflon tape instead on these compression fittings, and this fitting goes into this tank here. Yeah, guys, I must say, if you're building a system and you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a water pump, from my experience, this generic pump it's actually pretty decent. You're actually getting a pretty decent pump for your money. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Well, everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Computer Channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.